All right, let's take a look at the compass screen. There are two screens to track dogs from where you can see what's going on. First is the map, second is a compass. A lot of guys that are running hounds tend to work off the maps. Guys that are running pointing dogs and other dogs are working off the compass. You can use both. But let's take a look at the compass. This is your traditional compass screen. It's a very similar setup to what we've had ever since the Astro 220 came out a decade ago. You've got your compass, which has your north, south, east, west. It has lines that show the direction that the dogs are from you, and then underneath that you have the dog and you have the dog's distance, with the image of the dog also showing whether the dog is stopped or running. So I have one dog that's on point and I have one dog that's running. Still have your information up here at the top, GPS reception, battery life, and time of day right there. And then you have your training bar across the top that has your dogs, and with your side buttons here you can move. So I've got black and I've got blue, and then I've got my function keys there. All right, and at the bottom you still have your home, your map, and then your menu key. So home takes you back, map takes you to the map. Okay, and then I have mine set up here where I can jump, map, compass. There's some new things though. Well, let's go into the menu, talk about the new things. One of the first new things we have is show all devices. Select show all devices, and now Rob's Alpha comes up on the screen. So you have the ability to track other handhelds with the 200i, but this is the first time we have the ability to see other handhelds on the compass screen. In the Alpha 100, you can track other handhelds, but they only show up on the map. So now if you want to see them on your compass screen, they jump in there just like you would with a dog. Go back to here, and then you also have a show dogs only option. So if you want to track them, but you don't want them on your compass, you can drop them off. All right, that's kind of handy. Now something else we have new, as of right now, I do not have my vehicle marked, but I'm going to jump over here real quick to my mark waypoint, and I'm going to mark my truck, and I'm going to say save. And now I go back to my compass. We have the truck, we have the black dog, we have the blue dog. All right, so this is a standard view, and if you'll notice, nothing changes while I am moving through my e-collar functionality. All right. Some folks like to have their e-collar and their tracking matched up together. That is an option under compass pointers. All right, what this does, it's going to ask you if you want to have your pointers for the active devices or the training bar. What we want to do is we want to select training bar. That moves the dog information up here to the top, and it corresponds with your e-collar functionality. So now I'm on the blue dog, it is tracking the blue dog. When I change to the black dog, now I am tracking the black dog. So this would be one dog per, if you have multiple dogs, they're going to show up in this setup. Okay, menu. So I'm going to go back to my active devices view. That gets everything back down here at the bottom, and your truck shows back up again. This is also where you calibrate your compass. Compass calibration, for folks that have been around since the earlier days of Garmin tracking, used to be a lot more important. Calibration is resetting the electronic compass in your handheld. The earlier versions pretty much required that you calibrated every time you went out, and I know a lot of guys that they still do that. Every time they turn the unit on, they calibrate their compass. It is really not as necessary nowadays. The units calibrate themselves, and they keep up with it. The only time you're going to really need to calibrate is if you start having, well, there's two times you're going to need to calibrate. If you start having trouble with the system, as far as it's slowly starting to show your dogs, the angles will start to get off on. If you notice that, or you'll notice some real extremes, you can calibrate. If I've had a unit cut off for a long time, and then I move a long distance, sometimes I'll calibrate, at that point. It is one of those things. It's not bad. There's no downside to calibrating it. If you want to calibrate every time, you can. It's just not as necessary as it used to be. Now, let's talk about the Pro View. So the Pro View is a new compass view. It is based off of some of the stuff that Garmin's been doing with the 550 Plus and the watches. So it's a different look. So you select Pro View, and now on the screen we have each dog. The arrow points in the direction of the dog, and it tells you the distance that the dog is from you. So it's just a little bit of a different look. You've got your bar across the top here that will give you your direction. So right now we're facing east. You still have your stimulation training bar across the top. And you can see your vehicle and your two dogs. If I had an additional dog on here, which let's go do that real quick. I can show you a fourth dog. I go to dog list. I go to the Willie T5 and I activate it. And in the Pro View, now I've got 4 dogs. So this is the standard Pro View. But for those of us like me that are their eyes are starting to get a little weak, we have the single dog view. So this gives you a giant arrow and a giant directional distance there, and then you move through the dogs on the screen. So if you want to see the blue dog, there he is. And same thing here. This is the direction the dog is from you, and this is the distance on that particular dog. And then you can access your dog info screen by sliding. So it's just a new option. It's pretty neat. I like it, especially in the single dog. I think it's really easy to see, and so pretty neat option there. And the way the compass view here is set up is that if you drop it into Pro View, and then you move back to your map, it's going to retain that. So if you find that you like the Pro View with the 4 dogs up, then there you go. It's just a great new way to see your dogs, see everything on one screen, have a little separation to it, and once you've got it set up, it's going to retain that. So that's a good look at your compass setup.